I'm Nick Perkin, president and co-founder of the Receivables Exchange. Today I'm going to walk you through the world's first online marketplace for the buying and selling of commercial receivables in an online marketplace. As those of you out there are probably keenly aware, the number one reason that companies go under, out of business, is for lack of access to working capital. The Receivables Exchange allows companies to sell their commercial receivables ahead of payment, to take control of their working capital needs and to improve their cash position. Now, if you'll humor me for one moment, how many of you out there in the audience have not heard of what factoring is? Raise your hand. All right. How many of you have heard of what factoring is? Okay, a lot of you. Well, those of you who have heard of factoring probably thought that what I just described is online factoring. And those of you who have not heard of factoring probably thought that what I just described, namely taking control of your working capital and your cash flow needs by selling your commercial receivables in a competitive marketplace, is something that's pretty cool. Well, those of you who thought it was pretty cool were right, because this isn't factoring. Much like a subprime loan is different from a high-quality jumbo loan, we are distinctly different from factoring, and here's why. We're a real-time online marketplace. Our sellers have complete control of the auction process. There is no notification of our sellers' customers. There are no restrictive covenants, no personal guarantees. Our sellers use it when and if they see fit to use it, selling single or multiple invoices. What we do in the exchange is bring buyers and sellers together. We are founded on the fundamental principle of giving small and mid-sized companies easy and effective access to working capital if and when they need it. Our sellers post their receivables for sale in an online auction. Our buyers compete real time to purchase those receivables. We bring them together, and both sides effectively win. Sellers get access to capital when they need it within 24 hours. Buyers get access to an interesting new asset class. So with that said, let me walk you through the actual platform. I'm going to take you first through the seller component of what we do. So again, you're looking at this from the seller's perspective. Here, sellers can set business parameters, who has access to the exchange, who can upload an invoice, who can actually conduct an auction. Our account debtors, also known as your customers from a seller standpoint, let's begin the process of putting up an auction. So you'd go to an account debtor. You could view your existing account debtors, or you could create a new account debtor. In this case, it's previously loaded. It's an efficiency of the system. Invoices, you can search or manage your existing invoices or create a new invoice. From auctions, here you can go to your company auctions and either work with a pending auction or a live auction or open auction, or create a new auction. In this case, let's create a new auction. We're going to select the duration of this auction. I'm going to select 3 days because I want this cash quickly. And then I'm going to come in and select my invoices. You'll see here I can select a single or multiple invoices. The average invoice size going to the exchange right now is about $50,000, usually of multiple invoices. And you'll also notice that as I select these invoices, on the top here, the aggregate amount of details of that transaction show up. I can also go back and change particulars of this particular auction in case I want a shorter duration, a longer duration. In this case, I'm just going to go forward and submit these invoices. Now I'm going to go ahead and set the parameters of this particular auction. In this case, I'm going to say I'd like 77% of the face value now. I'm also going to say that I'll pay up to 2.5% for every 30 days for this cost of capital. We also have the functionality similar to that of the buy it now on eBay, where you can actually have a buyout of your auction. So in this case, I'm going to say my buyout is at 80% and at 2%. Again, I can still go back and change the parameters, but in this case, I'm going to submit my bidding parameters. I'm going to quickly review all the parameters that I set up for my auction, and now I'm going to go and post that auction for sale. Once I confirm this will go to the exchange. Once everything is verified, the invoices and the auction goes live, and buyers can see it and start bidding on it. So that's a summary of the sell side. Now I'm going to take you into the buy side of the platform. This is what buyers would see when they come in. So now I'm going to go quickly and take a look at the live auctions on the exchange. Here you can see at the top of all the different criteria that you can search for various auctions that you'd like to do. You can also drill into a particular auction. And here at the bottom of this website, of the auction page, you're going to see what's called the bid book. The bid book shows the live auctions that are currently, and live bids that are currently on this particular auction. I can also drill down into the particular company profile of this seller for this particular auction and see all the financial data, transaction history, pretty much anything I would ever want to know about this particular seller in order to make my buy decision. I can also drill down into my transaction history. Transaction history is relevant because it gives buyers the confidence that they can look back at historical transactions and make their buy decision to the right price and that they're working with the right seller. And transaction history tends to, over time, drive down the cost of capital of sellers between 1% and 75 basis points. It's fairly significant. You can also go back to this bid page, auction page, and drill into a specific invoice. You can see the actual image of the invoice and any of the particulars associated with that invoice that are part of this auction. And now let's go ahead and put in a bid. So I'm going to bid 75% of the face value, 100% of the notional amount, 75 advance on the auction, and a 2% cost of capital. I'm going to submit that bid. Confirm that I'm going to submit it, and it will show up in black on the bid book beneath, and you'll see where you are relative to the other bids. So in this case, you're not winning the auction, and what you decide is, you know what, I really want this auction, I really like the seller, I'm going to buy it out. So you hit the buy out, you confirm that you're going to buy it out, and now the auction is closed. The seller receives their funds within 24 hours. So at this point, the seller